Yeah, you're welcome, everyone. Welcome to Growth School. Welcome to Sunday Growth School. I hope you're doing very well. Please, if you can hear me, can you just signify by mentioning your name and where you're joining from? Just type your name in the comments and where you're joining from. You're especially welcome. Welcome tonight. It's really amazing. I'm so glad to have everyone join us tonight. Thank you so much. It promises to be a really phenomenal, an exceptional time, a time that is really going to unveil and help you to unravel the different forces and the things that can really make the difference and that can create real changes, real changes and transformation in your life. Please just let me know where you're joining from and also share with me what value you're getting already and what are the things that are helping helping you so far do so well, transform your life, make real changes, and then create the right inspirations and transformations needed in your life. All right, so do well to let me know where you're joining from. Let me know your name and where you're joining from so we could get started on the subject on the forces of dominance, the forces of dominion. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It's really amazing. It's really phenomenal. Thank you for the amazing things you do, the amazing work you do, and thanks for always doing well to be part of Growth School. Please do well to share the link with as many people that you can. Reach out to them, and also let's have them join in here. Let's have them join in here. Okay, so reach out to the people in your immediate circle, reach out to your friends, reach out to as many people. So we will get started in some few seconds. All right, so if you can hear me, do well. Drop your name and where you're joining from. So we will just get right into it. We'll get right into it. All right. Yeah, thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel Oketa. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Today we're looking at the concept on the forces of dominance, and that's going to be a part four from our series on sovereignty, on the sovereignty series. We will be looking at this very intentional and pivotal session and something that you need to really pay attention to. Over time, we have been looking at the levels of dominance, and I remembered that we shared on Growth School on certain things that are pivotal in order to help you elevate your view in dominance, and that can help you really make a lot of difference, and that can transform your life and give you the ability to work in the 1% level in your industry and in the things that you decide to do. All right, so in the last series, the last part 3, we were able to look at things around career and how you can start moving, transitioning in your career, making a lot of changes, and then advancing your life in the way that you ought to. So we looked at things around the 5 leverage for career advancement, where we spoke about connections, knowledge, community, habits, and I left out one, which is exponential efforts. And we also shared on certain things. We try to correct a lot of misconception around career. We said your career is a vehicle, not a destination. Your career is meant to be fulfilling, not a burden. Your career should be a growth system, not a medium of stagnation. Your career is an occupation, it's not a job. And then your career is a leading, not a title. Okay, so I'm going to be starting out today to start sharing with you on, as part of the things that would elevate you and enable you to walk in real dominance and that would help you to accomplish real results in your life and will shift you into very high level and cause you to achieve exceptional results in your life. One of the things you need to understand is that you need to be able to build a force of recommendation. You should be able to get to that point, get to that level, get to that position in your life, get to that stage in your life where you are able to permit opportunities to gravitate towards you. You are able to permit possible things that will shift your life, that will change your life. You are able to cause them to draw towards you. You are able to cause them to move towards you on autopilot. Why? Because of the kinds of systems that you are able to build, because of the kind of systems you are able to build. So I want to really share with you the four ingredients that can get you opportunities on autopilot. These four things are things you need to pay attention to. You need to imbibe them in your life, and then they will be the means with which they draw for the forces that will get you opportunities that will change your life. If you have always found yourself maybe always operating at base level, you are operating at the base of the pyramid system, these are things that you need to pay attention to. Like, for example, this afternoon, I was having a conversation with a younger friend, someone who is like a younger connections, and we're having a conversation. So she was trying to discuss on the fact that she wanted to start out certain things. She wanted to ensure that she could make this impact. She wanted to build this sort of initiative. She wanted to grow brands around it and do a lot of things amidst all of that. Tara Space, good evening. You're welcome. She wanted to build a lot of brand around it and do a lot of stuff. So she wanted a means with which she could make impact, she could do certain things and do all of that. Many a times people believe that because you're passionate and because you tell people that you want to make impact, they should automatically listen to you. They should automatically listen to you, or they should just believe you, they should just trust you, they should recommend you, they should offer you their attention, their time, their money, just because you say this is an initiative that will bring impact. In today's world, it does not work that way. It does not work that way. There are a lot of diligent work you have to put into it. Like, maybe you're listening right now and you believe, I want to start this initiative. I want to ensure I make this impact. I want to be able to draw this push. I want to be able to grow to this point. I want to be able to do all of those things. People will not just believe you. People would not just be drawn towards you. People would not just be attracted towards you. They would not just offer you their time and energy just because you are passionate for a cause. Just because you feel, this cause is good, I believe this is something people should love, I believe this is something people should be willing to pay attention to, and they want to really support it, they want to really do it. It does not work that way. That you're passionate, that you believe it, does not mean that people will trust you enough and they would offer you the attention to be able to do it. So for you to be recommended and for you to be loved and for you to be that kind of person that people trust, people love, people can recommend, and people want to stay with you, there are four ingredients. There are like four different forces that will compel you to be trusted, and that will compel you to be recommended, and that will compel you to get into the door where the greatest people sit upon. All right. Ebube Chuku, Loretta, you're welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. So these are things that you should look out for. Now, number one thing is the force of value. There's something called the force of value, which means that even if it's an initiative, even if it's an idea, even if it's something that you feel that people should believe in, people should love, people should follow, people should be willing to follow it, people should just give all of their minds, all of their attention, all of their self onto it, there are certain things you need to understand. There is the force of value. Value is a force. Value is not just something that you do. People believe, because I'm doing this, then I should be valuable. Go and look out. You will find out a lot of people who are doing really amazing stuff, things they feel passionate about, things they feel they love, things they feel that people should appreciate, and then they are putting a lot of investment, putting a lot of money, putting a lot of energy, but they don't have the requisite, they don't have the corresponding outcome and the corresponding result. Why? Because you need to understand value as a force. The moment you understand value as a force, you are going to offer it differently. You would offer it differently. What's the formula for force? Work done divided by the distance covered. That's something you need to understand. So the ability to be able to offer value. Now look at this, for example. There was this time in the life of David. If you're conversant with the Bible, you'll know the story. There was this time in the life of David. David was just an ordinary shepherd boy in his father's house, which means the only value his family members had concerning him was that he was a shepherd boy. All they wanted him to do was, why the brothers went about what they were doing, whether they were going to train for war or they were going to train for different courses. David, all he needed to do was to take the flock of sheep and then go to the forest and ensure that they ate and they were fine and they were cool. And while David was doing all of that, he was creating an intrinsic value in himself. What was the intrinsic value? He was a psalmist. He was a songwriter. He was an instrumentalist. David could play the harp. While he was in the forest and doing all of that, he was playing the harp. He was creating an atmosphere of music. He was doing a lot of things, but he was not aware that someone was listening. He was not doing all of that expecting that someday he was going to step into the palace. And as a result of the things that I was doing, someone passed by and maybe was always passing by. I was listening to the sound, was listening to the strings, was listening to the playing of David, and felt so pleasant about it, felt so delighted about it, was able to say, oh, this guy is good. Every time I pass by the bush, I'm always listening to that amazing sound. And something happened in the palace. While David got into the palace, something happened in the palace. Saul at that time was the king of the entire nation of Israel. And for certain reason, Saul started, he was starting manifesting certain demonic manifestation. He was not acting so well and all of that. And all they recommended was that let them get an instrumentalist, someone who could play the harp, someone who could play the string instrument. Let them get someone like that. Now, someone who passed by and have listened to David playing before was in that meeting, was in that conversation. The only reason why David was recommended was because there was a value of him that had been seen. That you are valuable does not sufficiently mean you will be recommended. Your value has to be visible. Your value has to be seen. Your value has to be recognized. Your value has to be known in order for you to be recommended. It's like somebody will say, oh, I'm a software developer. I can code, I can do front end, I can do back end. If all you know about the value you offer is only known to you, you will not get the requisite reward. You will not get the requisite recommendation. And that's why there are things like LinkedIn. So people come on LinkedIn, push out their products, and then they are able to share, oh, this is what progress I'm making. At that instance, they may not get lots of the likes. They may not get lots of people commenting, but people will continue to watch your consistency of promoting your value, and from the consistency of the promotion of your value, they will then recommend you when there is an opening. So ask yourself right now, who is aware of the value that you can offer? Who is aware of the value inside of you? Who are the people aware of the giftings inside of you? The people who are aware, do they have the power? Do they have the access? Do they belong to the circle where your value is visible enough to them and they can recommend you in the palace? So just think about it. When the man who has always listened to David playing the instrument and doing all of those things, when he was in the palace and they needed a psalmist, who do you think he was going to recommend? Someone whose gift has been visible. They will say, oh, I know someone. I know a son of Jesse is very good and excellent in playing the string instrument. Let's get him to play the string instrument so that when he plays the string instrument, immediately the demon spirit is in King Saul. That demon spirit is going to live by the playing of the instrument that David was able to do. So it's not enough to say, oh, I'm valuable. You need the force of visibility for the value you can offer. That's the same thing that happens for most people who work in, for example, most people who work in organizations. You work in a company, you work somewhere, and you believe that, oh, because you think you're so good, because you think that you are the best at that thing, oh, because you think that you are the best that can perform this. If nobody is aware about your gifting, you will remain where you are and no one will speak about you. Your value needs visibility. Have you seen people who are so knowledgeable? Like, oh, when you meet with them and you're like, this guy is so good. This guy speaks so well. This guy is intellectual. This guy is so amazing. Wow, I love what this guy is doing. This is so good. This is so amazing. This is so great. We wish this guy could be there. But all you know is that your value is known to you. It's not visible enough. And that's why you should be able to differentiate between intrinsic value and perceived value. If the only value you have inside of you is known to you, is inside of you, but there is no one who perceives that you are that valuable, you will remain stagnant for a long time and you will not be able to move from where you are. So you need that force behind value. So you need the force of value and you need visibility to the value that you offer. Do you know there are people in their head who just believe that, oh, I can speak, I'm so amazing at speaking. I'm an excellent public speaker. But you are the only one who is aware that you are good at speaking. You are the only one who is aware that you're good at speaking. You are the only one who have that idea that you are so good at speaking. But no one perceives that you are that good. And that's the reason why, even though you think you are so good at speaking, you will not be invited to platforms where you will get reward for that value inside of you. So we live in a world of perception. Whether you like it or not, you must be willing to work on your perception. So there's a difference between intrinsic value, perceived value, and people pay based on their perceived value. So David was invited because there was a perceived value about him. Think of what happened to Joseph too. Remember, Joseph was in the prison. He would have remained there for a very long time if he was not recommended. If that chief butler never believed that Joseph had what it takes to be able to interpret the dream of Pharaoh, he would have just remained there for a long time and he would never have moved out of that prison. There is a force that is able to bring recommendation to you. The value and how people perceive your value. So value is one thing that is able to help you grow into dominance. See, Joseph, who slept a previous night as a prisoner, not even knowing when he was going to leave the prison, after a period, the force of value brought him into the palace and he ended up as the vice president, or you can say prime minister, in the land of Egypt. So it's sometimes not necessarily about the land where you are, it's about the value that people perceive of you. All right? It's about the value that people perceive of you. Now, moving on, number two force and number two ingredient that is able to automate recommendation for you is the force of excellence. Is the force of excellence. Now, you have to listen to this. If you are trying to come up with an initiative, you are trying to set out maybe on the public space, you're trying to now come up, you want to build an amazing brand, you want to do something phenomenal, you want people to believe you, you want to be able to draw followings, you want to be able to draw attention to what you're doing, you want high profile individuals to look at what you're doing, you want people to check up and look out, oh, this guy is good, this lady is amazing, let's look at what she's doing, let's look at what he's doing. You need to pay attention to this. You need the force of excellence. You need the force of excellence. I was speaking with someone today and I said, 10 years, 15 years ago, if all you have is passion and then you just set out on the public space, media space, people can consider you and like, oh well, let's be there, let's look at what she's doing. All right, at least she's making sense and doing all of that. In today's world, the field is noisy. There are too many noise going about. There are too many noise going about. There are too many voices. There are too many echoes being made around. You need a powerful force of excellence that will make people want to at least check up on what you're doing and saying, okay, this looks excellent. Let me at least check up on it. You need to stand out uniquely and come up with a different type of voice that will make people listen to you. Today's world is not a world and place for copycats. It's not a world and place for people who want to just become echoes. You want to re-echo voices. You need your own unique voice that is excellent enough to make the difference for you. Now, I want you to check up any space, whether it's the entertainment industry or the religious industry or the comedy industry or the skit industry or even the tech industry or the business industry. Go and check up on the guys that came into limelight between 2020 and 2025, between the last 5 years. Go and check up. You will find out that it's always about something who brought them out uniquely. I'm going to cite example. Like, for example, think about it. How did Lai Wasabi come into the limelight? All right, I have to use some of these examples, all right? You don't have to like them, but for people who can see what I'm saying, you understand how those people came out. How did Lai Wasabi, how did he come into the limelight? He started doing something uniquely. He started putting in the ideas and the knowledge he got from law. He started speaking certain language intelligently that you needed to be very smart and intelligent to be able to grab out the joke and the intelligence and the things he was saying. Look also for this guy called Brain Jota. You would find out that many of them sprouted out. Okay, many of them came out and didn't really look like it, and then they started doing something differently that set them out from the congregation. And that was how from the multitude. And that was how many of them came into the limelight. In today's world, you need an exceptional and excellent perception. You need to do these things excellently. You need to come out with a unique force that you will deliver excellently for you to be heard in this noisy world. Let me cite like some other examples. Check up also today. What was the thing that set out people like, I know for some of you who love movies and you watch movies on YouTube and all of that, people like Omonio Boli, people like Maurice Sam, people like I think Frederick Leonard, people like Funke Akindele. What are the things that differentiated their own movie productions or some of the things they push out? It was always about excellence. It was always about excellence. For any industry or field, let's even go to maybe the academic sector, the universities. What are the things that set out in the last 5 years, the things that differentiated certain universities? Stanford University, after a while we had Nexford University, we had a number of campuses, we had, just mentioned, Stanford, Harvard, some of the things they are doing. Remember, Stanford and Harvard, they started pushing out free online courses that were relevant today, and they gained attention even beyond their territory, and they were giving it as though people were actually on their campuses. You get what I'm saying? It's always the ability to be able to rethink, to rework on things strategically, to be able to work on innovation and deliver it excellently. That's what I'm saying. It's not enough to say, I'm passionate. I'm very passionate. I'm sure this is going to work. I know people need these things. They would not look at your side. In today's world, people are distracted by many things. Many noise is going on here and there. You need a level of excellence to be able to gain an entry and to be able to dip your feet strong. To be able to put your feet strong. A lot of these things are what you need to look out, and then you need to pay attention to them so that you will not miss out even though you're passionate. Because some people started out without having this idea on the forces needed to drive all of their passion, drive all of the things they want, drive a number of the things they wanted to do, and they could not continue. They could not cope. Why? Because they lacked the force that would have kept them consistent and that would have kept them staying in the field. They lacked that force. So today, the value of excellence. I cannot right now, I cannot use the kind of graphics design that I was using to promote when I started certain of this impact stuff on WhatsApp. I can't use them anymore. I cannot push out something right now. Even sometimes I will feel like, if my face has to be on this flyer, if my face has to be on this program, it has to be very excellent. It has to be so good. You know why? Because the perception you create is how people feel you will deliver. And there are people who would not come there, kings will not show up there when they feel that you are not excellent enough. When they feel you are not excellent enough. So it's very important that you pay attention to excellence. Think about it. What was the qualification that brought Daniel into the palace in Babylon? What was the qualification? Think about it. You think it was because he was just a guy? If I begin to give the qualifications and you began to check them up, you'll be shocked at the demands of kings, the requirement to even come into the palace. The requirement to even come into the palace was not ordinary. They needed fair young men. They needed a young men that were handsome. All right, which means they were able to pay attention to their looks. That's how important sometimes the level of dominance can be. Check top CEOs, richest men in the world. You hardly see them. They pay attention to how they look. They pay attention to their beards. They pay attention to their haircut. They pay attention to how they smell. They pay attention to how they dress. They pay attention to how they speak. They go on trainings on certain way of communication, certain way of writing. They pay attention to a lot of things. Why? Because they understand that if they must remain on the seat of dominion, they need some sense of excellence. Are you excellent enough, or you are only making proclamation that is your year of dominion? Or is your year of manifestation? Or is your year of dominance? You will dominate the earth. What perception do you create? What ideology do you have? Are you excellent enough in your mind? They needed guys that were handsome. They needed guys that were good looking. They needed guys that were intelligent. They needed guys that were smart. They needed guys that understood science. They needed guys that could interpret things, that could interpret mysteries. That's the qualification they needed. The kings demand a level of excellence. Kings will not just give you a chance just because it's you. Yes, sometimes you may have the privilege and access to come before them, but you need a level of excellence to retain your seat before them. And that was what happened with Daniel. He was intelligent, they were smart, they were excellent, they were good guys. They were guys that they needed to teach language, which means that if they took many of them through language class, and some of them were not studious enough to be able to learn those languages, at the end of the day, you know what would happen? At the end of the day, they would not qualify to sit at the high position in Babylon. Are you studious enough? Are you diligent enough? Do you have that mind enough to put in excellence to the things that you feel you're passionate about? Do you have that mind enough to be able to stay and say you will continue to do amazing things, you continue to do so well, and then you want to push through until you are able to sit at the highest seat possible? You know the problem most times, especially for people in Africa, especially for the young generation in Africa, we are always expectant that things should come to us even if we do not put in the effort. But the truth of the matter is that the people who will take up the throne that will take decisions for your life and destiny are those who are studious enough today to put in the work. You can't be so busy following and putting your mind in BB nonsense, and you're expecting that this world is going to hand over leadership to you. It does not happen. Check up scripture. Joseph, David, Daniel, even Samson, that we feel did not really end so well, they were diligent guys. These guys will go to work, train themselves with different kinds of implements, train themselves with different weapon of war, and they were building themselves. They were putting certain investment in themselves in order to sustain their leadership and dominion. You are just declaring and shouting, and all you are doing when prayer comes is to shout loud amen. It's not just by that. There is a level of diligence. There is an entry requirement which has to be excellent. That's why sometimes on campus I tell students, don't let anyone deceive you that having a first class does not matter. You'll be shocked that it's no longer getting as easy as it used to be, except you already have a position, you already have something prepared for you that says immediately you just graduate, don't worry, all you need is certificate. I will link you up and put you in my office. If you don't have that, you need to fight differently to be excellent. And for most of you listening to me, you don't have that guarantee. You don't have that guarantee. There are people that all they need is to finish school right now in Africa. Their parents are already settled to take them abroad to get the next level of education and to sort their life forever. But if you don't have that advantage, stop following people to be shouting and say, first class is not important. It's not really important to be that excellent in business. It's not really that important to take the work I'm doing right now diligently. Some of you right now, the next breakthrough of your destiny requires that you receive a promotion to a managerial level or even to a top executive level. But you're saying, it doesn't matter. Let me just do the work. Let me just put it in anyhow. You need the force of excellence. You need the force of excellence. Imagine if I just came to this program and I just gave you any kind of wishy-washy kind of flyer. Look, this guy, the thing where you go talk, no go to make sense like that. We sure say this guy get that deep wisdom. With this kind of flyer, what will they see? Paying attention. Excellence. The power, the force of excellence will give you a greater advantage beyond the masses, more than the average person. You must be willing to outwork the average person in your industry. You must be willing to outwork the average person doing that thing you are doing. Even in the things you are doing, even in your normal social media, how excellent are you in putting out the things that you push out? How diligent are you? How committed are you? How are you able to come out diligently? Look at it. In some years ago, I know some of you know Apostle Femi Lazarus. Of course, I'm mentioning names so that you guys will track back. Some of you believe that people just grew by luck. In about the past 5 years, started doing something differently. He was amidst one of the first set of young, not young, he's not kind of young, he's someone I respect so much, he's an elder. One of the people in his category in ministry who started pushing out very, very short videos. You just go on TikTok, and those guys were so excellent to be able to push out those videos. And you know what happened? His brand blew up. Go and check. It was during that season his TikTok followers grew up. That season he started doing interviews on YouTube. He leveraged on those things, and it was out for a very long time. The same thing, P. Daniel started doing a lot of amazing stuff, and they were pushing it out. Talk about Lawrence Sawyer. I'm mentioning him because I know some of you are so religious in following these amazing men of God, amazing individuals, whether it's entertainment, religion, but you don't pay attention to their systems. Look at Pastor Lawrence Oyor. He started with turning scriptural passages into songs. Favor, he surrounds me like a shield. It will cover me from now until today I see my King. He was bringing those things. After you need, I fall in alignment with the angel of my destiny, with the angel of my calling. You know the next one now? It talked about his banner over me. Now, jugular, all of those things will break their neck. And you know what some people do? They just follow, watch the video, shout, sing it, jugular. But when are you going to build a system that will cause your own liberation and breakthrough? And I'm telling you for the truth, from what I perceive, they are not doing those things because they only want you to follow. They are doing those things to show you a model where you would also build your own system and exhibit your own purpose and calling. Shout, celebrate other people doing so well. Appreciate them for the things they are doing. But when will God also call you into your own? When will you be diligent to also become a voice in your own generation? You need to be frank and truthful to yourself. You just make declaration. Oh, do it. This will happen. That will happen. Well, you will see some instant result, but how do you sustain it? What system are you going to build to become better, to become great, to become amazing, to be able to do all of that? You know, I cite examples. You see, I've cited examples. I cite examples from Bible, cite examples from real life, cite examples from even some of the people you know. How long do you want to remain a follower all your life? When do you want to become a student of your destiny and you want to be studious enough to manifest the glory in your life? If you're a student here, don't let anybody deceive you. First class is important. Have that first class first and now see whether it's important or not. Have it first. If you know your parents have not built an organization, they've not given you a direct link that will set you for life, better fight differently, better study differently, better invest your energy differently, better make up your mind that you at least get the best, that even if you don't have a first class, at least you have the best tier second class offer, and be studious for your own life. You, when you're on campus, you are not going to be the kind of people that will say, or maybe you are working in a place and you know it's not that you came out from a very great family. You are saying, it's not important, so let me just live my life. For me, I'm not here to make friends. Better make friends with people that have the access, that have the link, that have the possibility to change your life. To change your life. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't graduate and now begin to know the connection you should have had, but you never had. I tell people, with all humility, there's really none of my classmates who finish undergraduate that I cannot reach out to, that I cannot call and speak to and have a nice conversation with, and say we want to reach out and connect. This last weekend, I still reached out to an old friend that we met doing service here. Ability to be able to position, have that kind of lifestyle that will automate recommendations to you. So you need value, you need excellence. People will not just offer you opportunities or change your life or do amazing things to you until you are willing to change your life. Some of you don't know. I know like many people always share like the morning prayer, NSPPD, next level prayer. Do you know the level of diligence it takes to wake up every day to be consistent with that prayer every day at 6:30? No diligence. Think of that vessel that God is using. Think of that individual that God is permitting to do it. Every morning, and you see people sharing, doing all of those things. Can you learn the diligence? Can you learn the sacrifice involved? Can you learn the power to stay consistent at something? You right now, you want to start, I must read a book every day when I wake up. You are not consistent though. You will read one book, you remember after another 1 month that you've not finished the book. Are you learning principles or you are just following? Be a student of the system. Be a student of the system. And somebody says, Jay-Z is making billions from YouTube. Better sit down and shut up and go and become diligent about your own life. Go and become diligent about your own life. He's making billions. He's doing all of this. He's doing this. His platform millions. And see the number of people that are following. Go and be diligent with your life. We have too many commentators in this generation, but few of them are diligent. Only few are diligent. Too many commentators commenting on everything. Be a student of the system. What are the things working out for them? What are the things helping them to build this? What are the things helping them to build it? Get the underlying principles, imbibe them into your life, and then keep building from there. That's how people become heroes. That's how people become masters. That's how people experience dominion. To the day I'll be quoting scripture of dominion for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Where is the experience of dominion in your life? I hope people are not vexing. I want you to vex very well, and then be serious with your life. That's what I want. Welcome, Ayo. Ayo Deji Oluwale. Thank you. Nice to see you. Elizabeth Azan. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. I hope the pepper is not like the pepper. I hope it's not too hot. I hope it's not too hot. You know, we have to be real. We have to be truthful. I'm just being truthful to you. I've said I don't want to lie to a generation. They have told, we've had people who have told us too many lies. Now is the time to, now is the moment of truth, where you have to be truthful with yourself and know that you are not doing the right thing. And then rearrange yourself, rework yourself, and then have a U-turn, have a rethink, have a reorientation, and then position to the right place. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Do you get the point? Get the point? Very good. Should I continue or we should end it here? Are you people vexing? We should stop? Let me read the chat. Are you people already vexing? Should I stop? Was that too harsh? Or I should continue? Should I stop or I should continue? I've just said 2 out of 3, and I've not even really touched the thing I wanted to really touch for today. And I'm hoping to end this series. Maybe what I'll just do is touch this a bit, touch a little bit of what I had in mind, and then would close. Maybe we'll have a final part next week. We'll have a final part maybe next week. We'll just end the sovereignty series at part 5, and then it'll be good. I'm looking at the comment. Should I continue or should we just end it? It was already too hot, and some people may be feeling like, this guy, he's on too talk. All right, Emmanuel, thank you. You said I should write down. All right, so number 1 is value, the force of value, and then you need the force of visibility for your value. Number 2 is the force of excellence. Now, number 3 is the forces of spirits. Some people will not like this one. The forces of spirits. Whether you believe it or not, whether you assume it or not, there are spiritual forces that also enable men to be recommended. All right? There are spiritual forces that also enable men to be recommended for great opportunities. Now, there was this time in, wow, Esther Matthew, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. There was this time in scripture when John the Baptist, John the Baptist have actually been called a forerunner. So a forerunner is somebody who is sent ahead before someone comes. So if, for example, an high-profile personality is coming to maybe speak at an event, or is coming to visit a place, like, for example, if the president of Liberia, for example, is coming to China, all right, one of the things that will happen is the ambassador of Liberia in China is going to do a lot of the background check to know, what are his itinerary, where are the places he will be going to, who are the people he wants to visit, who are the sites he wants to do all of this, where are the places he will do, what are the things he's going to do, where's the place he's going to lodge, where are the places all his aides would be with him. So we have like a forerunner sent ahead to prepare the ground. So that's where forerunner is. So John the Baptist was like a forerunner who needed to come to this life in order to ensure that a lot of things were ready, a lot of things were done before the arrival of Jesus. And it was John the Baptist who would actually baptize Jesus. So at the time, he was always preaching, there's one who will come, whose shoe latchet I cannot touch, the hem of his garment I can touch, he's greater than I am, he's all of this, and he was preaching, the kingdom of God is at hand, and he was preaching, and people will be baptized after they gave their life to God. And then Jesus came to his baptism, and as Jesus showed up and he stood before Jesus, he said, yeah, this is him. And he said, this is the one of who I spoke of. And Jesus said, baptize me. He said, no, I can baptize you. You are higher than me. I don't think I have what it takes in order for me to baptize you. And then Jesus said, we need to permit it to be so because the scripture has to be fulfilled. Then John the Baptist decided he baptized Jesus. And as Jesus came out of the river Jordan, a voice came from heaven and said, this is my beloved son, hear ye him. If you have read the Bible, you will realize that the number of multitudes that Jesus gathered at every meeting were always so much. They were very high. They were so high. They were in high numbers. You hear the multitudes were looking for him. You will hear Jesus sat down and he preached to 5,000, and he preached to 3,000, and he preached to 7,000, and he fed them and did all of that. You know why? Hear ye him anointing. A spirit force spoke from heaven, and he was recommended by spirits, and people started listening to him. Acts chapter 2, when they were in the upper room and they were praying in the upper room, expecting the power of the Holy Ghost to come, and they were praying and praying and praying, and the Holy Ghost came upon them, and said they were speaking in other tongues, and the people who were around were hearing them speak in their language, and said, these men are unlearned men. How come they are able to speak this intelligently? How come they could speak our languages? And they kept speaking and saying they could do all of that. And instantly Peter rose up and started preaching. He started communicating all of the things that happened in old time and what they did to Jesus, and the same Jesus they crucified and all of that. And we heard that the Bible says 3,000 were converted. It means that if 3,000 were converted, more than 3,000 of people gathered at the pulling of the operation of the Spirit. And at that time, 5,000. You see what happens? There is something about the force of the Spirit. I know someone in Africa or someone in maybe Europe, or America, or Asia, in different places say, no, we just believe in intelligence. Amazing. But the outcome you have an impression of a spiritual force behind it. Have the outcome of a spiritual force behind it. There is the force of spirit. And that's why you see people do things like meditation. You see people meditate. Okay, when you meditate, have you ever thought of what is that thing that brings an idea to you? Because it never originated from you. Okay, so people commit to things like meditation. People commit to things like, you see some people do things like yoga. For some other people, they pray. There are people who wake up every day, they pay attention to devotion. Some people have scriptures and books that they consult. For some people, it's the Bible. Some people have other books. There's a spiritual force that is able to also bring certain results to you. And I love the part of the Bible that says that the heart of a king is in the hands of the Lord. He's able to move it whithersoever he wills, which means there is a spiritual force, God who created man, that can direct their hearts to favor you, that can direct their heart to think about you, that can direct their heart to speak about you, that can direct their heart to say you are the one that will get this done, that you are the one they are looking for, that can direct your video to the homes of kings, to the homes of noblemen, that can direct the intelligent work you have done to the homes of individuals. Some people used to believe, in rare cases, you see someone sent out a tweet and someone just loves it and then retreats, or somebody reposts it, and then before you know it, the person becomes a voice, and you see someone who wants to help that person and say, wow, this good person, I love to help this person, send this person's account number. And you see somebody who woke up poor ending up very rich, and then if they are able to manage and they were ready for such blessings, you will see them growing and never returning back to poverty. So there's a spiritual force that also makes men recommend you. That's why, while it may be fine to treat things intellectually, while it may be fine to treat things intelligently, being excellent, being valuable, doing all of those things, make sure you have a system to enforce spiritual forces to build dominance, victory, authority, and then bringing a lot of things to your life. All right, I'm not going to come here and tell you, yes, some of the things I share are wisdom, intellectual, but many times there are times that the things I come out to share here, I cannot say I got it from somewhere. I may maybe sometimes wake up in the morning, just setting my mind, living my normal life, and idea will come, I'll write it down, or build on it, and before it comes out and release, it becomes a blessing to people. There are instances where I could just sit down in meditation, ideas will just come and drop, spiritual forces. And the way people receive and accept and love those things, they are really phenomenal. There is always a spiritual force. No problem if you say, this world is just intelligence and all of that. I pray you don't get to a point one day where you plan you plan to travel, you would have, there are different stories like that. Someone plans to travel, he has gotten the visa, he was ready, he has booked ticket and everything, and then on the day of travel, passport just gets missing. I pray that day you don't understand that they are spiritual forces. All right, I'm not trying to esteem them. Listen to this. Sorry, rapture has not happened. I'm still here. So I am not trying to esteem them. I'm only saying that do not overestimate intelligence above the spirit. Sometimes the entry level is knowledge, science, but to elevate to some higher level, you need the involvement of spirit. All right. Henry, nice to see you. Thank you so much, Henry. Henry Unweko, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. All right, so the force of value, the force of excellence, the force of spirit, and then you also need the force of loyalty. Loyalty that have been built through love. Loyalty that have been built through love. Now, you need a system and a means whereby you earn the love of people. You know the mistake lots of people make? Some people think that by manipulating human beings, by manipulating people, they will follow and stay with you. From experience, it doesn't happen. From learnings, I've known, it doesn't happen. No matter how you manipulate people to stay with you, there will be a time when if they do not truly love you, they will leave you. If they do not truly love you, they will leave you. You need a loyalty that has been built through love. Some people try to put on certain gimmicks in order to draw followers to them, get people to talk about them, get people to announce them, get people to do this, get people to do that, get people to do all of those things. If it does not come by genuine love, forget it. You don't have loyal leaders, you don't have loyal people who choose to follow you. You don't have loyal followers. So you need to understand that you must build loyalty by love. And this is something for some of you that have now grown. Maybe for certain reason God has elevated you, or you now have access to certain things, or maybe right now you have grown followers, you have done all of those things, and you do not treat people well, or you allow the numbers get into your head to the point that you do not understand that you have grown there by people, and you have gotten there by the help of individuals, or certain people open the door for you. You will not last in that place you are. You would end up becoming just a fuzzy noise without real impact, without real touch, without actual impression. And you keep assuming numbers in your head. You need a sense of humility. You need to be able to build love. You need to be able to show that you're a person of character. You need to be able to show that you're an individual that people can look up to and say, oh, okay, it has not gotten into his head, it has not gotten into her head. Oh, she's here, she still recognizes that we are good. That's why you find out that sometimes I come here and still say, thank you for those who are sharing. Thank you for those who are joining. Thank you for those who have chosen to be here. Thank you for choosing to be with me at this time. Why? Because I recognize that I am here because of you listening to me. I'm here because of you who have decided to watch me. If I come in here and nobody is here, or maybe just 0 people are here, or maybe nobody chooses to listen, there is no essence of continuing this. You need to build loyalty. You need to understand that loyalty is a force when it has been built by actual love. Not Facebook likes, reactions, not growing likes on platforms and all of this. Real love, real people that have chosen to be loyal to you. Are you that kind of person that if you come out right now and say, oh, right now I'm in a serious and a really tight corner. Are there people who love you enough that you are so sure 100% they will rise up and say, no, we won't allow you stay here. We need to bring you out of this situation and ensure that you are fine and then you're able to return back to it. Or you just have numbers. Or you just have numbers. Or you just have actual feeling that we are friends, we are friends, we are friends. You have friends that can put out their neck for you and say, if it is you, we are willing to put out our neck to ensure that you don't go through this mess. All right, so those 4 things are very important: value, excellence, loyalty, spiritual forces. Very important. Now, number five thing, force I needed to pay attention to, for people who, for certain reasons, maybe you have grown, you're being elevated, you're receiving promotion, you're moving from one level to the other, and maybe at a point in your life you now grow to a stage where now people now listen to you. You have platforms where people can be in and people can come to your platforms, or maybe you're getting invite, people are inviting you to come and do this. Maybe it's to come and speak, or to come and sing, or to come and show your talents, or to come and do certain things, and getting invites, going here, going there, going there, going here, or coming on your platforms, or doing things. Or maybe for certain reasons they see you're brilliant and intelligent, they are saying, oh, because we know you know these things, please come and teach us, please come and be the one. And people are drawing your attention. Sometimes people are putting forward to you leadership opportunities. People are telling you, oh, come and become part of our members, come and become part of our volunteers. One thing you need to pay attention to is always take note that you are relevant and demanded because you are still alive. Oh my God. Many thought leaders, many public speakers, many people who have the privilege to show up on platforms, many times they forget this. You need a physical force in order to continue to get invites. And this is why you must always create a system that keeps you alive and that keeps you at the premium state that you have to be in. Pay attention to this. You need the spiritual force that will keep you alive and that would enable you to stay on a long term in your throne of dominion. That will allow you to be there for a long time in your throne of dominion. So pay attention to your health. As you begin to grow, as you begin to elevate, as you begin to get certain access, certain things here and there, pay attention to your health. Pay attention to your health. Make sure that you stay healthy enough. Make sure that where you have to go on checkups, you do it. You let them check you, check your blood. Don't allow things get intense. Then that's when you now get to the hospital. They say, oh, your malaria is malaria plus 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 plus. And then you are not active, you are not agile, you are not prepared for next level of accomplishment. Because there are certain thrones and certain places, certain promotions, certain opportunities that need you to be physically fit. Pay attention to your health. And sometimes the reason why most people may grow to their older ages, to 45, 50, 60, and all of that, and they lack the energy, is always about most of the things they are doing when they are young. Most of the things that they are doing when they are young. You see, if you're here, or maybe you're watching the replay and you're somebody who you take alcohol, you smoke, you don't know what you're doing to yourself, you're killing yourself little by little. You're killing yourself little by little. Because you would not be able to operate at a maximal level for a long time. Because a lot of your organs and systems will become weakened as you begin to grow older. As you begin to grow older. As you begin to grow older. So it's really important that you pay attention to your health. Pay attention to the food that you eat. Avoid too much sugar. Avoid too much sugar. Like, for example, since 2020, from about 2020, I stopped taking carbonated drinks. all right, like Coke, Fanta, and all of that. I think I only took when I traveled out, and already for certain countries, the government actually regulates the quantity of sugar that they have to put in their drinks. Some of you don't know that there are some companies that you have their product, you enjoy it, you take a lot of their things. If you travel out, the same quantity of sugar in what you take here in Africa is not the same quantity in some countries. The moment you taste it, you are already aware that the difference is clear. It's not the same thing. Their government pay attention to the kinds of food. The company have to produce their own specification. Just ask people who are outside Africa. Just ask. They will tell you straight up that it's not the same thing that you guys are taking. You would think that the XYZ that you drink here is the same XYZ they drink there. It's not the same. They pay attention. They have reduced the carbonated content. They have reduced the sugar to the barest minimum. But you think you are just enjoying. Everybody takes this. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. None of you think some of those things are the same. No. You know why? And that's the reason why they pay attention, because they want their people to stay alive for a long time. So their governments pay attention to a lot of those things. But for you, those people need to make more gains. They need to do a lot of things. And let's leave all of that. I'm not talking about it. But pay attention to your food intake. Drink more often. Make sure that you take, like, part of the liquid you take, make sure that 90% or 90% plus of your liquid intake seems to be more water, natural water. All right? Let it be more water. I have seen the difference. Like, since I stopped taking, I'm not saying you have to do this, I'm just saying from my own experience, since I stopped taking carbonated drink, even right now, I stopped malt. I think I stopped taking malt, anything malt from last year. I stopped carbonated drink 2020. I stopped malt last year. I just realized that many a times I hardly get sick. The initial reason why I stopped, let me tell you the reason why I stopped. I stopped because I heard someone I respect and look up to said, oh, he does not take it. And then I just decided to try it out. Then I tried out first year, was checking out, second year, third year, and I just liked it. So I wanted to take it. I stopped because I felt, as a public speaker, I needed something that would help my respiratory system. I didn't want something that would make me feel very weak when I speak for a very long time. Now, I've been speaking for over 1 hour. I'm still energized. I can keep doing this for the next another 1 hour and even another 2 hours. Why? Because of the kind of things I take, it helps me to still stay energized, helps me to still stay sane. I don't get tired speaking. That was the reason why. Then I just realized, so 1 year, another year, another year, another year, and it has been an amazing stuff. I don't struggle with it. If they give it to me, I either take it and give it out, or I just don't take it at all. Sometimes I tell people straight up, oh, please, I don't take carbonated drink. I say, oh, I don't take malt. I don't take this. Just that intentionality. I remember it was a gospel minister, gospel music minister, who I learned, maybe she said, or someone who is close to her mentioned that this minister does not eat anything after 10 p.m. I think she was one who mentioned it. After 10 p.m. she does not eat. She does not eat anything. Immediately she misses her meal at, I think, 10 p.m. She just does not eat. At best, what she takes is chips, and she does not take chilled drink. She does not take chilled drink. That's how people have decided. And this is, if you mention gospel ministers in Nigeria, she's in the 1%. She's in the 1%. She's in the 1%. And you see how such individual sustains her dominion in that industry, sustains her dominion by personal discipline. And you see some of them, they will sing for a long time, they will be there, they will do praise 1 hour, they are still energetic, they are sweating, their voice has not cracked. Discipline. How disciplined are you on your physical being? How disciplined are you on your body? Because you need this body to be alive, for your intelligence, for your wisdom, for your giftings to go out for a long time. So food intake, do check up when you have to. The kind of food you eat, you also watch out for it. Like for example, there are times when I want to detoxify. There's a kind of I'm not mentioning because I'm not recommending. I'm not going to recommend. I'm not an health expert. You can meet doctors, nurses, nutritionists. They will advise you if you want to detoxify. There's something that we have to squeeze the juice of the leaf, and then you take. And then I just see my body really fine. Some things just shed out and then leave. Maybe you want to reduce sugar content. You want to stay at the right premium level. You take those things and then you look for means to stay healthy. So sometimes you do those things. Then for some other people, you could also have supplements. There was a time when I was working at my former institution. We used to have a colleague that sold all these supplements of vitamin C, calcium, potassium. That time I remembered I learned potassium was very, very good for the brain. He was selling those supplements, and then we just take one of it, put in quantity of water, and then when it dissolves, we drink, and then you just see your body comes back to normal. You may need some of those things. Learn about supplements, learn about certain supplements. You'll see some of these very old men still making impact, ministries and all of that. They may have one or two of those things that they take in order to make sure that they are able to operate at premium. Maybe you need some supplements, but make sure you get medical advice. Make sure you meet medical experts. They may tell you, you might ask from them, oh, do you need more calcium? Do you need to take supplement for vitamin C, for vitamin D, for a lot of those things? So pay attention to it. Make sure you are able to operate at the right health level. As a career person, you work in an organization where you have to show up all the time, or you're a student where you need to read, you need to show up for classes, you are there sometimes from 8 to 6. Make sure you pay attention to your body. Make sure you do what you have to do in the right way to stay at a premium physical state. All right, that can keep you alive, that can keep you well, that can enable that you're strong, that can enable that you can pay attention to the things you do. So it's very, very important that you look out for this. I know some people are learning things for free. So the supplement, very important. Pay attention also to your public perception. Know the kinds of food that are sapping away your energy, that make you become weak quickly, that make you get to the point whereby maybe sometimes you can't sleep well, the things that do not allow you to enjoy your sleep. Pay attention to a lot of those things. So the physical force is also very, very important. I would have loved to continue with this, but right now I need to. So the reason why I moved this to 8 is because I have to move on to another engagement right now. I hope you got value. Let me see in the comment section. Let me know what you learned. I hope it was worth your time. I hope you got a lot of value that would help you remain dominant, and then we'll begin to begin to draw the forces towards you so that you can dominate correctly and be in it for a very long time. If you have questions, I want to check up on questions quickly before I leave, to check up on that. So let me know. Did you get value? Was it worth your time? And if you have questions, let me know so that I will provide answers to them. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. That's in Nigerian time. In China, it's already a new day. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you, and keep making a difference in your life. Keep experiencing massive dominion. Keep doing all of the good things you have to do in order to experience the real dominion you have to. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Ayodeji. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Tara's Place. Thank you, Loretta. And thanks to everyone. So I come your way again. We'll do this again next week. So for this time around, we won't be having Growth School this Wednesday because there's a program holding in Lagos that I am fully involved, and it starting on Wednesday. So we will Look for a means to Old Growth School either next Sunday or next Wednesday. Thank you so much, and keep making the rest of your life the best of your life. Bye bye.